welcome along. I'm in the kitchen today. Yes, a whole brand new experience for United Kingdom Talk viewers and listeners. How exciting is this? Now, the reason I'm in here is because, to be honest, I'm a little bit short of time today, and I've got things to do. I've left it a bit late in the day because, and the reason is because I have been selfish, boys and girls. I've been selfish because it was nice and sunny outside, and I got up a little bit too late today. I've left the washing up and everything else till a bit late, so I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to do this while I'm chatting away to you today. All right? Yes, welcome to my kitchen. Might sound a little bit echoey. I've been very clever. In that my little recording gadget, I selected a shirt, you see, with a top pocket, so I can put my microphone in there. All right? And I thought I'd show you some of the more mundane things that I do here in my kitchen, such as washing up. It's nothing special, okay? It's an old MFI kitchen. About, how long have I been? I've been here since 1992 here in Bracknell. So it's an old MFI kitchen. And to be honest, it has started falling apart, boys and girls. Yes, it has. Now, all my the drawers, I've already had to repair one of the drawers. Look here. Listen, can you hear that opening? Right, I had to get runners. New runners for the drawer, as you heard on a previous programme. Unfortunately, the runners were the wrong size, and I knew, oh don't laugh please, I knew that I would probably order the wrong thing. I'm not a DIY person, I've got no idea how all these things work. All I saw was an advert for drawer runners. They looked roughly the same size, so I ordered them, and they're in fact wrong. But never mind, with a little bit of pushing and shoving, I was able to get the new drawer runners, albeit even the wrong size, onto my drawer thing, you know, where the drawers come out. And so it kind of works to a point. You know, you now have, instead of just closing the drawer, right, you now have to kind of lift and close it, if you see what I mean, because it doesn't work otherwise. I know. It's a bit shocking, really, but there we are. I mean, it works. Look, you know, so listen. Can you hear this? Listen. Right, here is a drawer with the correct runners. Listen to this. Okay, correct runners. Here is the drawer with the incorrect runners. Listen. Opening and closing, where it just catches the bit at the bottom because they're the wrong size. I told you so many times, I don't do DIY. How many times have I got to tell you that, eh? Right, so I've done my washing up. I must do my dinner as well. So I'll take you through one of my favourite meals now. First of all, you know, here am I talking about to cook a meal, right? And I tell you what, I hate cookery programmes on the telly. And here I am doing it now. How mad is that? I absolutely hate cookery programmes on the telly, complete waste of time. And they don't show you proper food, do they? Which cookery programme has ever shown you how to cook sausage, egg, beans and chips? Huh? And here I am about to do a cookery show. Well, I'll show you one of my favourite, very, very good for you meals. You may wish to get a piece of paper and a pen and write down what I'm about to tell you. Now, I haven't got anything ready, nothing's out. Well, actually, can I just finish washing up these I would love some utensils in here. 1 minute. 1 minute, 1 minute. I've nearly done this. Where's the sponge gone? I've lost my sponge now. I always lose the sponge. I don't know what happens to that. It moves. The sponge has disappeared. Where has that gone? Oh, it does annoy me, that does. 1 minute, 1 minute. Here it is, I've got it. I always seem to lose things now. I'm sure that's to do with age. 1 second, there we are. Hang on, I've nearly finished these. Stay there, stay there. And then we'll cook the meal together, all right? Now, that's done. Have I switched this on? Oh, you can hear me. Thank God. I thought I'd forgotten to switch my microphone on. There we are. Right, mealtime then. Now, Chris Reardon's very first United Kingdom Talk cookery programme. How exciting is it? Well, it's probably more exciting for me than it is for you. Right, here we go then. What you would need is a nice large Pyrex bowl, glass one, okay? First of all, empty your oven. Emptying my oven now. Now I'm not the... I'm afraid, as I've said many times before, I do live my life in chaos, okay? Sometimes things are not quite cleaned up properly. I've just noticed it. Now this is unusual, I've got to tell you this. I've got this tin can bottom, what do you put this on? Listen, it's a, oh, it just dropped off that then. This piece of tin, oh, what is it? It's an oven piece of metal that you put food on it and you put it in the oven. What's that called? Is that an oven dish? I don't know. I'm not quite sure what that's called. An oven tray? Anyway, it's a bit of metal. And you say, well, it looks like I forgot to wash it up last time, unfortunately, so we'll put that in there. We can't use that like that. Not required at this moment, okay? Right. So you've got your big Pyrex bowl here. Listen. All right, you don't have to be watching to know what I'm doing. If you're just a listener, you can do this as well. And now we need our ingredients. Over to the fridge. And we require tomatoes, around about 4. Okay, 4 tomatoes. We need a pepper, a lovely pepper. I love eating peppers raw, do you? We've got a pepper. We've got, where's the other thing? Oh, we've got the mushrooms. Okay, that's all from the fridge for now. We've got the mushrooms. All right, we've got those 3 items there. And we got a couple of carrots and a couple of onions. There we are, 1 minute. Carrots and onions. All right then. Off we go. Now I've got this lovely, listen, you can hear this. I love this piece of equipment I bought recently from Sainsbury's. This is a beautiful marble chopping board. Look at that. Oh, it's lovely. Big black marble chopping board. The only thing is, you have to be a bit careful because stuff tends to slide off it. So sometimes I just use the wooden tray, but we'll see how we go with this. Actually, I'll be honest with you, I usually use the wooden tray. All right, I'm doing this for show, to be honest. All right? So first of all, you must wash. We'll wash the carrots first. All right. 1, 2. Now this meal I'm about to make is very, very good for you. This really is. If you're trying to get, you know, all the governments and all that tell you to have 5 a day. I'm actually going to chop the onions, the carrots up first. 1 minute. Let me get some red with a bit of carrot. Okay. Top and toe your carrots. I don't know if you can see me doing this, can you? Doesn't matter anyway. All right, and I like to chop them long ways. Okay, very sharp knife. Of course, if you are of a young age, please make sure you've got an adult to help you doing this. Let me just close this door here. It's a beautiful day out here, but I think the sunlight's coming in and making... Oh my God, is that a fly? Oh, I do hate... How do they get in here? Well, through the open door, I suppose. Stupid question. I'll open this other door, hang on. Hopefully a fly will see the open one. Go on, actually go, you horrible fly. Oh, I hate them. What was I saying? Oh yeah, chop your onions long ways. Okay. Using a sharp, very sharp knife. Now, if you're a young person, do try and be very careful and ask an adult to help you with the sharp knife, okay? I know Suko and Joe from AmericanTalkUSA.com. If you're using these sharp implements, you must ask someone older to help you. I do know in Joe's case that would be quite difficult for you, Joe, to find someone as old as you. But if you look around, I'm sure you'll find one. Maybe your mum can do this, okay? Get your mother to cut up to do anything required with the sharp knife. There we are. So we have our carrots in the bottom of the bowl. Now, I've got to be honest with you. This will... well, I'm about to put the mushrooms in. One of them looks a bit dodgy. Smells all right, though. All right. Yes, I've got to be honest. This meal will probably serve 3. Okay? 2 or 3. I managed to eat the whole thing myself. But it is all vegetables. Mainly, it's all vegetables. This is really good for you. There it goes the fly. Just a minute. It's gone. Right, I'll close this door now. Interrupted by insects all the time on this show. It's not right, is it? Okay, so we've got the carrots in there. And now the mushrooms. Okay, you want about 5... Oh, that was 2 carrots I put in there. 2 very large carrots in that bowl, okay? Now the mushrooms, I've got 5 large mushrooms here, which are... What's the date? Which are only... Oh, it's not... Oh, hang on a minute. What's the date today? Oh, I've still got May on my calendar here. That's better. Right, May. What's the date today? Oh, okay. So these are what 8? What's the date? 8. Well, these mushrooms are only 5 days out of date. Okay, but they don't smell bad and they look all right. So I shall use them. I don't. My sister would go mad. She insists on me throwing away anything that's out of date, to be honest. I hope you can hear me all right today because I've got the, as I say, I've got the microphone in the top pocket on my shirt, okay? Right, cut up the mushrooms how you usually have them. I like to cut mine in sort of chunks. So we do those. All right. Are you writing this down or are you going to watch it later or listen to it later? So far we've got carrots and mushrooms in there. It's a slow process. Oh, I nearly forgot, turn the oven on for Christ's sake. Oh yes, turn the oven on. Right, you want the oven on 190 degrees centigrade, okay? 190 degrees centigrade on the oven. Right, so we cut the mushrooms up in slices, that's how I have them. Sliced mushrooms, they're in there now. Right, now we'll do the pepper. We'll cut up the pepper. I've got a nice orange pepper. Don't know about you, but I do like eating peppers raw. And I've only recently discovered the orange ones, which actually have an orange flavour to them. Have you noticed that? The orange pepper definitely has an orange flavour to it, which is rather nice. Beautiful peppers. By the way, always wash your fruit and veg. Very, very important. Even if it's organic. Right? Because just because it's organic, okay, it might not have had chemicals and all that. Oh, I nearly cut my finger off then. It might not have had chemicals and all that put over it. But the point is, you could have had a little animal come along and wee on the plant. Okay? So always, yes, oh yes, I'm full of sensible things, aren't I? Eh? You know that. Right, cut up your pepper. I don't know how you like to do your pepper. I just cut it any old how, to be honest. Some people like strips. It doesn't make any difference. It all goes down the same hole, and incidentally comes out the same hole as well a few hours later, doesn't it? Eh? Pepper's in there. Give the old thing a bit of a mix. So we got carrots, mushrooms, and pepper in there so far. And now the onions. Now the onions, it depends how you like them, doesn't it? Really, I like strong onions. I can't see the point of having onions that don't taste of anything. I like them to taste, so I use red onions, which are always a little bit more expensive, but there we are. Oh, and I also usually buy organic produce wherever possible. It is a bit dearer. Does it taste any better? I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. But what I do know is that it's not covered in the chemicals, and that's what I don't like. I'm convinced that a lot of the modern diseases we have, certainly the cancers, come from chemicals. So I always try. It's not always possible, but most of the time I buy organic produce, right? So I might actually put 2 onions in here because this is only a small one. Cut up your onions again, however you usually cut yours. I cut mine across and then in like sort of halves. Put that in there. Now I've got to be, I must warn you here, I must warn you, are you susceptible to what I call onion wind? Right? Because one of the things onions do to me is give me the most awful wind, which I have mentioned once or twice to you on the show. So be aware of that. These will give you onion winds. Now where's the other onion? I thought I got 2 onions out. There it is. Onion wind, dear. Not very nice. You do tend to get a lot of complaints. What you need is carbon tablets. I think are they carbon? No, charcoal. Charcoal. Is charcoal carbon? It is, isn't it? Charcoal tablets. That's what you need, and that will get rid of your wind. I know it's no use doing your wind and then walking off. People will know it's you. They always seem to know it's me for some reason. Right. Keep washing those vegetables before you put them in the roasting dish thing. It's a large glass Pyrex roasting thing I'm using. All right, nice strong onion. I do like strong onions. It's like cheese. I don't see the point in eating mild cheese. It doesn't taste of anything. I like mature. Like, I think it's if you where you, I don't know what country you're in, but here in the UK we have numbers for our cheese, and I like number 5, extra mature, very very strong and tasty. All right, so we've got that in, and finally we do the tomatoes. Now, come the autumn this year, I'm actually hoping to have all my own tomatoes. Yeah, I've got a... If you've been watching the show recently, you'll know that I've been growing... Oh, all those onions have got my eyes. Well, that hurts. I've been growing my own... or I started growing my own tomatoes and peppers this year, so we'll see how that goes on, you know. Right, tomatoes now. Okay, I've got 4 tomatoes, which should be enough. I usually cut them in quarters. Organic tomatoes. Now organic tomatoes do, to me, taste better than the normal standard ones. I don't know if you get any thoughts on that. By the way, there's an email address to the show. Have I said hello yet? This is Chris Reardon with today's United Kingdom Talk. The email address to the show is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Right, they're the tomatoes. So it's all in there. Looking rather nice, and all the onions are very strong. We've got in there carrots, mushrooms, tomatoes, peppers and onions. Right, we'll mix it all up a little bit. Like that, lovely. You can also put in here courgettes. Sometimes I put a courgette in there, and whatever else you fancy. Okay, this is the main part of the meal. The other part, then you'll be choosing whatever else you want to use. Now sometimes I have fish, sometimes I have chicken breasts, sometimes I have bits of steak, but you don't put that in now. Oh, I've got to get that in the oven because it's killing my eyes. Now, to finish with, we put olive oil on the top. Very, very Mediterranean, dear. Extra virgin olive oil. Yes, there we are. Don't be tight with the olive oil, okay? Go on, pour it on because you know it's good for you. Although I gather olive oil still makes you put on weight. Okay? So we've done that. And now we'll mix it all together so that the oil goes over everything. Should have turned the oven on a bit earlier really, but never mind. My dinner will be ready today about half hour after I finish the show. How lovely is that? Okay, just give that a good mix so that everything gets covered in the oil. I hope I've explained it okay to you. Oh, I've just dropped a blooming carrot on the floor. I'll give it a quick wash under the tap, it'll be alright, won't it? People are always shocked when I do that. I do that sometimes at work, I'll drop something. and then I go and wash it and carry on eating it. I mean, if you wash it, it's all right, isn't it? Surely it is. Right, so that's it. It's all looking rather shiny and covered in oil, my lovely dinner. Now, it does look like there's an awful lot in here, right? And yes, it will serve 2 people, probably 3. But after it's been in the oven for a while, it will all condense and it will get a lot smaller, depending on how long you cook it. Now, put it in your oven, round about, as I say, on the top shelf, 190. Don't put the top on, right? Don't put the top on, leave the top off, 190. Now that wants to be in there for about 45 minutes, okay, on 190. No, actually, no, that's probably a bit too long. About 30 minutes on 190, after which time, I'm just washing the stuff up as we go along here. That's it. Wash that thing up there. What was I saying? Let me just wash this away and I'll chuck this rubbish away and then I'll talk to you. Put the tomatoes back, 1 minute. Put the tomatoes back in the fridge before they start going. Don't like to waste food. Right. And, oh, I've got to clean that, just a minute. Clean this food for the this metal tray here that the food's going to go on. The other food's going to go on later. I've actually got to cut the chicken breasts that I'm going to put in later on. But what you do now is you cook all those veg that we've just done together with the olive oil. They go in the oven and they need to now to cook for about 30 minutes, okay, on 190. A bit longer if you haven't warmed up the oven yet. And after about 20 minutes, you want to go in there, take it out and turn it all over. Alright, so that you don't get burnt bits on the top. The reason I leave the lid off is because I like it sometimes to go, I mean, I find it goes better with the lid off. If you leave the lid on, of course, none of the moisture will escape. And it all gets, it can get a little bit watery. Oh, I've nearly done this. Let me just finish washing it because this is disgusting. I can't believe I left this like that. Well, I can actually because I do it all the time. But, I'm not too bad. I mean, it's not like a student house where I live. Have you ever been to one of those student houses? Oh, disgusting places. Maybe you are one. Are you one of those students? Shocking. I don't know how you people live. It's terrible. You get about a week's washing up, sitting there, and then you go round their houses for a cup of tea, and they can't have anything to do. They won't wash up. They'd rather not have the tea than wash up. I reckon my nephew would be like that. Actually. And that's it. All the vegetables are in there cooking. After about half an hour, select whatever you're putting in with it. And you could, as I say, you know, a couple of times, take the vegetables out and turn them over so that the oil covers everything. And that will come out really nice. After about 30 minutes, put in your selected meat item, which could be a bit of steak maybe, or chicken, or fish. I like to have battered cod or battered haddock in that, and cook that for the correct time, whatever it is. The vegetables want to be in there about an hour and 15 minutes altogether, okay? Just keep turning them over, an hour and 15 minutes. So whatever time your meat item takes to cook, you want to put that in so that it finishes after at about an hour and a quarter. So say for example, the fish is going to take half an hour. All right, so cook the vegetables for about 45 minutes and then put the fish in after 45 minutes, so you've got another half an hour and then it'll all be nice. And there we are. That's one of my favourite meals. Coming to you from the kitchens of United Kingdom Talk. How exciting was that? Well, I think we're moving to the garden now. Would you like to see, actually, I mean, those of you that are watching the show may like to see, because you can only see the top bit of me, would you like to see what the kitchen is really like around me? Now, this is going to be a bit of a shock for you, I know, but I have told you many times before, I'm not a tidy person, okay? I don't do tidy. I find it very difficult. So, when I show you these bits and pieces, don't be too shocked and horrified. Now the work surface I was on is a little bit low, so I had to lift it up by putting a little box underneath me. Now that is the work surface, and don't worry if you're listening, I will explain. The work surface is covered in things, just things. It's not particularly dirty. I suppose once a week, maybe sometimes a little bit longer, once every couple of weeks, it does get a bit of a wipe over, okay? So as you can see, as I've said time and time again, I do live my life in chaos. The worktop that I was doing the food on is actually in the middle of the kitchen. We've then got the area where the sink is. Okay, there's a little microwave on the right, which incidentally has got a bit rusty inside now. There's a dishwasher that's never used because it uses too much electricity. And then there's my white cupboards, and on top of the cupboards there's stuff as well. And then I've got like a little glass cabinet with bits and pieces in it. Okay, so that's one side of the kitchen. On the other side of the kitchen, we move around on the other side of the kitchen. I hope you're able to see this in your mind if you're just listening, okay? The kitchen is incidentally yellow and white stripes at the bottom. Then it's got one of those rails, a white rail, and then yellow at the top. It's been this colour for many, many years, and I don't see the point in decorating really if it's still clean. I mean, there's a few cobwebs, but it's not too bad. I know. One of my favourite parts of the kitchen. I meant to tell you about this. Is my stained glass door. Yes, I have a stained glass door in the kitchen. How beautiful is that? It really is. It's like glass around the outside, clear glass, and then it's green, red and yellow. Beautiful. Very expensive that was, dear. Possibly the most expensive part of the kitchen, I would have thought. Okay, so that's that. Now on the other side of the worktop, the worktop is there again. There's the rubbish waiting to go out as well. Yes, it's all there. There's a little clock there which tells me how long I've done the show for. On the other side is what I call my dining room table, but it's rarely used as a dining room table, just another place to put things. I have a shirt on there at the moment. I was going to wear a blue and white shirt today until I realised it didn't have a top pocket, so I couldn't put my microphone in it, unfortunately. There's a very bright light over there which was lighting me while I was doing the show here in the kitchen. There's a portable, well I say a portable, it's a large telly, a large old telly in the corner, and another unit, and there's my windows and my yellow curtains, which the yellow, very good. I tell you what, those yellow curtains are very good value for money, you know. 15 years I've had those and they still work perfectly. I love value for money. Alright, so that's it. Now let me just turn off some lights in the kitchen now and unplug that big light over there because we don't like to waste electricity. And we're moving the garden for the other part of the show today. Okay? Because we like it in the garden. You coming in the garden? Coming in the garden with me? Yes, you are. And we'll do some emails, lots of emails today. What else I'll do is, you know, this is the time, this is the point in which you want someone else following you around with the microphone and the camera, isn't it? It's all a one-man show. It's very difficult doing it all on your own. All by myself. Eartha Kitt, was it Eartha Kitt? No, Eric Carmen, something like that, sings All by Myself. I don't know. Someone like that anyway, won't it? There we are. So we'll come back into the garden now. For the first time on this show. I'll make a few adjustments. We can't cut from one bit to the next, dear. I can't be bothered to do all that editing. Right, so I'm in the garden now. Hang on a minute, I'm looking a bit crooked. I'm looking crooked. One minute, let's move that down. There we are. Sorry, I was looking crooked. And I need to go and let me come down there. 1 second. Keep talking amongst yourselves while I just adjust my microphones and things. Oh, where's my papers? Where's my bits of paper gone? 1 minute. I forgot my bits of paper. With all the emails on it. Where have they gone then? Oh, there we are. Papers. And that's it. Microphone stand. Where's that? Oh, that's it. Well, I don't know if I want that today, do I? No, I'll keep it in my pocket. We'll leave the mic in my pocket. Good. That's it, in the garden. Lovely. Oh. Right, can you see me all right? Is that okay? Can you come a bit closer? Come closer, don't be shy, that's it. Come closer and listen. Good. Perhaps you'd like to share a recipe with us, would you? Hey, send it in. Usual email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Okie doke then, email time. First of all, you know what we'll have to do one day? I've often told you how to make a cup of tea, haven't I? But I've told you how to make a cup of tea while sitting in the studio. We'll have to do one live. Yes, we'll do that one day. We'll make a cup of tea on United Kingdom Talk live with pictures and everything. So you can follow my exact instructions so that when British people come to your homes, you will know how to make that cup of tea. Huh? You see, I'm full of marvellous information. Always trying to help, dear. Always trying to help. Okay. Oh, it's a bit different, isn't it? For God's sake, stop moaning. First of all, someone who hasn't written for ages and ages is young Yannick, who's in Germany. Hello, Yannick. Where have you been? You've been very quiet recently, I must say. Wondered where you were. I do worry when I don't hear from people for a while. Dear me. Yannick says, I haven't written for a while. Well, I think we know that, dear. Shocking. You just pop in and out as you feel like it, don't you? This is not a hotel. It's really not. Haven't written for a while, but I thought I'd give you my thoughts on the topic of the BBC. Yes, oh, the BBC gets down on one knee and genuflects. Oh, I can only ever hope to be a BBC Radio 2 presenter. You never know, it might happen. Normally, there's no chance for anyone outside of the UK to watch any of the BBC's television channels. However, I have found a way to get access to live streams of the BBC. I know this is illegal, but I've been using this software which runs the live streams for quite a long time. Yannick, you'll get caught, dear. You all get caught in the end. Stop breaking the law. Naughty boy. What are we going to do with you? I can't have criminals watching this programme, Yannick. You have to turn off, dear. I cannot have criminals watching this programme. Where will it all end? You know, the next thing we'll have mass murderers writing in, wanting to borrow a cup of sugar or something like that. My reputation will be in ruins, dear. Ruins. Yannick says, I watch The Apprentice, well, it's finished now, on a regular basis, as well as EastEnders and Ashes to Ashes. I've never seen Ashes. Where are these leaves coming? I've got leaves dropping down everywhere. How strange is that? It's not autumn. These leaves coming from? Oh well. Where are we? Oh yes, I watched the Ashes to Ashes. Now I've never seen Ashes to Ashes. Is that? I don't know what that is. Is that a comedy programme? No idea. Every now and again I watch The Weakest Link, which I'm sure you've heard of. Oh yes, we like that. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. We like Anne Robinson. One thing I like about the BBC is the fact that they've got such a great variety of shows and series, and they don't push the boundaries like some other TV stations do, such as E4 and Channel 4. What do you mean by push the boundaries? I always like to think the BBC is like certainly always at the forefront of technology. They are the ones that made Freeview work. ITV were unable to get that working. But you know that the BBC does have very, very deep pockets, and when they want something to work, they do everything until it does work. They've actually got quite a few channels now. I don't know if you know, Yannick, but the BBC have quite a few TV channels. They have BBC One, BBC Two, BBC Three, BBC Four, BBC News 24, BBC Parliament, CBeebies and CBBC. I think it's 8 channels. Is that all of them? I think that's it. They have a very large amount of local radio stations. They have national radio stations, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those, and some only digital stations. There's another few of those. Very, very big organisation. And people are always moaning about the BBC licence fee, and I think it's worth every penny. For what you get an awful lot for your money with the BBC. I do. And I've always said, if they ever try and make it privatised and they have to take adverts, that's the end of it, really. That'll be the end of television in this country, and it would be very, very sad indeed to see that happen. So there we are. Thank you to Yannick in Germany, a regular caller to Ross Patzelt's programme, aren't you? Yes. But we never hear from you, Yannick. Do you hear all the shows, or do you only listen to some of them now? I don't know. Join in by email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Hello to Tom. Tom Harris, how are you, sir? He has his own podcast, which you can find at harrispodcast.podbean.com. harrispodcast.podbean.com. And Tom writes, hiya, Chris. You were talking about your snail problem in the garden. Yeah, well, I haven't got a problem this year because I've been very quick to put down the pellets, okay? So no snails this year. We have won the war against the snails. And Tom writes, I've heard that if you put a little dish of beer in your garden, it will attract slugs away from your plants. You fill a small dish with beer and place in so that the edge of the dish is flush with the ground. So you've got to dig a hole, do you? We can't be digging holes in the garden. Dear me, where will it all end? Digging holes in the garden? Slugs will be attracted to it and fall and drown. It's less dangerous for your cat than the pellets, but unfortunately, you might also catch Ross Patzelt. What, with the slug pellets? Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. You can see him slowly slithering across the grass, looking for something else to eat or indeed drink. Though he likes the beer, doesn't he? That's the thing. You yeah, I see what you're saying. Put a dish of beer in your garden. Ross Patzelt, all the way in Norwich, which is hundreds of miles away from here, a couple of hundred miles away, he will be able to smell that beer, absolutely, and will slither across until he drinks every last drop. Tom says, I'm a bit behind on commenting at the moment, aren't I? Yes, you are. I wonder what it's... Another one that writes and then disappears. What's going on there? I had a lot to say about the tarot episode, but I think I'm going to address that on my own show soon, because I found it very interesting. And that's from Tom. So nice to hear from you, Tom. Does his own podcast. Once again, you can find that at harrispodcast.podbean.com. harrispodcast.podbean.com. Bit windy out there. What's the time anyway? Oh, we've got loads of time. I thought we were running out of time. We've got loads of time, dear, loads. Hello to Irvin Distiller, our friend Wayne Anonymous. Hello, Wayne. Who likes to join in on all the programmes that I mentioned, don't you? Yes, I've heard you popping up all over the place. It's nice to hear your voice. And he says, the name Chris Reardon and the phrase, keeping my mouth shut, are in stark contrast to each other. What does he mean by that? I can keep my mouth shut. I hardly say a word when I'm on my own, thank you, Wayne. Dear me. What do you people think of me? I wonder that sometimes. Here he is. It's our man in Iceland, Robert. Hello, Robert. Robert the Viking in Iceland, still very proud. His country's second place to this year's Eurovision Song Contest, Iceland. Well done, sir. Parties are still continuing weeks later. Now, I requested that Robert fly me to Norway if I managed to get tickets for the Eurovision Song Contest, and Robert writes, Chris, yes, I can fly you and perhaps 8 other people. I know this guy that has a Learjet for rent. I don't know, what is a Learjet? Is that the picture? He sent me a picture there. I know that he sent me a picture of it. I think that's a Learjet. I'm not sure. Is that a Learjet or not, Robert? That's the question. Is that a Learjet? He says, I know this guy had a Learjet for... And yes, it is within range. Are you saying I could get a private jet to Norway? How exciting would that be? I have just used Google Earth, and I think I can land on your road, but can you move that Toyota, though? The Toyota is not parked on the road. I beg your pardon. I have a garage. What sort of place do you think I live in, dear? I have a garage. It's never parked on the road out here. It's always parked in the garage. Thank you. My little car needs a home, and it has one, thank you. Just a thought, my friend, but it would help if you could put some tyres or straw bales at the end of the road. Just before I land, turn up the radio to cover the noise of the jet engines, though. Is it a very loud plane, then? Can't be as loud as Concorde. Yeah, before they, it was always very, very sad, that was, when they decommissioned Concorde. But it used to fly right over this house, and the noise was amazing. Used to fly over the house, run about 11 o'clock in the morning. You could almost set your watch by it. 11 o'clock in the morning and 7 o'clock at night, every day. Right over there, and the noise is fantastic. And they got rid of it. Nothing makes as much noise now. I mean, we get noisy planes, but they're nothing like that. I used to love listening to that beautiful bird. Beautiful, beautiful bird. I think, was it Richard Branson, Virgin? He tried to buy Concorde off them when they decided to decommission it and they wouldn't sell it. It's hard cheese, isn't it, really? Yeah, I'm quite liking that idea, Robert. Yes. Come and pick me up, mate. Now, Robert, you've also had a little reply to some of your elf stories. And this comes from our friend Jeremy in Pittsburgh, US of A. And Jeremy writes, I'd like to start the bidding of Robert's Elves at $3.50. I think a miniature person would be a nice thing to have as an asset. Oh, well, you might want me then, Jeremy. No, because I'm only about 5'7", 5'6", 5'7". Yeah, I'm only a small person. You could have me on a mantelpiece, couldn't you? You know, with a fishing rod or something like that. I could be an ornament. I really could. My cat, name Cricket, that's a good name for a cat. Cricket the cat. Cricket the cat tears his toys apart too fast. I think a tiny little elf would be much more durable. Cricket is an active cat and loves to play, so the elf will probably have to be on his toes for a good part of the day, keeping him physically fit. It's a win-win situation, don't you think? Well, no, I don't. Good God, what if the elf for a moment takes its eye off the cat? It'll be ripped to pieces. I know what my Kate is like, I have to chase birds off the garden sometimes because she goes to attack. Poor elf. What a cruel man you are, Jeremy. I never knew you were like that. We try and promote friendship and good well-being on this programme, and understanding other people's lives and religions, and yet you seem to have made an error here in understanding the needs of a cat. The cat does not want to play with an elf, it wants to eat it. That would be terrible. It'd be like, you know, I'm sure you've heard stories of people before killing a bee and then all the other bees attack the person. That's what would happen. All the other elves from all over the world will come and attack your cat. Reminds me of the film The Red Balloon that I mentioned months ago now. It's a French film. And it's about this red balloon and it flies around everywhere. And this boy becomes attached to it like friends. And then some other kids come along and they burst the balloon and the balloon kind of falls down and deflates. And then balloons from all over the world come and rescue the dead balloon. I don't think it's a good idea at all. In fact, I think we're going to have to make a law against keeping elves with cats. Terrible. Maybe the cats will be very clever. Or the elves will be clever. And you might end up with your cat being eaten by the elves, dear. Frightening. Absolutely frightening. Cricket is an active cat. Yeah, my cat's active as well. She's got fat. My cat has got... Someone else is feeding that bad girl. I know they are. Jeremy says, I would have responded to these things a little sooner, but I thought you were super backed up with emails and didn't add to the pile. I missed a show or two, so I'm not sure if you've gotten some responses to these questions of yours yet. No, you can. It doesn't matter. I've said this before. You go back as many shows as you want and you put as many responses in as you want. All I ask you to do is understand that sometimes the emails do take a little bit long to come up if we've got a busy period. At the moment, there's not too many here, okay? And I always appreciate whatever you send in. Cockroaches. Now, I said, are cockroaches bad for you? I mean, we're all frightened of cockroaches, horrible things, but what do they actually do? Because I didn't know. I've been very fortunate never to have seen a single one in my house. Cockroaches are particularly bad, says Jeremy, because they have dander, which I didn't know this. There are a lot of people who are allergic to cockroach dander, and cockroaches have been known to cause allergic reactions and sometimes upper respiratory infections. Have you ever heard of the baby cockroaches that burrow in your ear while you sleep? Oh my God. Oh, that last bit alone is enough not to want them around. Yeah, you're right. Oh, that made me feel ill. Baby cockroaches burrowing in your ear. Does that really happen? Oh, that's scary. You also mentioned that the bowl of fruit doesn't seem to add to the decor of your show, whether you put it to the left of you, to the right of you, or behind you. Yeah, sometimes for video effect, we have a little bowl of fruit on the table, don't we? Eh? But I haven't got one today. He says, but I don't think you've tried all your options yet. Have you tried putting the bowl of fruit in front of you? Perhaps you could add a bit of mystery to your show and talk to us through the bowl of fruit. Perhaps peeking at us from above the fruit bowl from time to time to let us just know that you're still there. I really like looking at fruit sometimes. They also have those bits of art where it is just a bowl of fruit. You never know, it might increase your ratings. Well, you never know, do you, eh? I can hide behind one of my hanging baskets. I could take one of those down and hide behind one of those, I suppose. They're looking rather nice, mate. You can't see my hanging baskets. They're, I don't think you can see those though. No, they're on the other side. Have you considered wearing the fruit as a hat? It's a good look for the Chiquita banana girl. Banana, manana. God. And from one of your recent shows, I'm from Pittsburgh, PA, and I'm going to New Orleans this Christmas as a trip. I've always loved the culture of New Orleans, and the concept of the voodoo religion intermixed with the Catholic Church also fascinates me. Yeah, I'd like to go to New Orleans. I quite like to sit in some of those jazz bars and all that. It must be fantastic. A lot of crime there, I believe, though. I'm not interested in practicing that religion, but it's a really interesting subculture. I'd like to go down there and investigate firsthand. My mother asked me where I wanted to go as a trip this Christmas, and it was the first place that came to mind. I had other things that I wanted to respond to, but it looks like this letter has gone on a bit long, and I don't want to filibuster your show. Perhaps I should respond to the things you say more often. Anyway, this is Jeremy from Pittsburgh, USA, just saying hello. Is it me you're looking for? Take care. Goodbye. Thank you, Jeremy. Nice to hear from you. Oh, I like Lionel Richie. And I wonder where you are. And I wonder what you do. Are you somewhere feeling lonely? Or is someone loving you? No, they aren't, actually. But if you'd like to love me, please send an email. And Jeremy, please, yeah, feel free to join in as much as you want. Don't worry about long emails. No, make them as long as you want. I can always cut them down a bit or use them over 2 or 3 shows sometimes. It's great to hear from you as much as you want, okay? Email address chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Hello to gorgeous Suko. Hello, Suko. How are you, my darling? We had her on the show a few shows back, didn't we? Suko says, Dear Christopher, when you were recording the show with me and Jerry, you were concerned that the listeners would find the puffing noise of my mic was making annoying listening. Yeah, like this. When you were talking, it was annoying, Suko. We can't have that coming over the airwaves, dear. We'll let it go that time. You must learn to... Because it didn't happen with Jerry. It must have been you, dear. It wasn't Jerry. It didn't happen with Jerry at all. It was you. You must be positioning it like here or something. I don't know. She says, well, my dear, have a listen back to the last two shows. Was it any more annoying than the June the 6th show? Crinkling of the cat food bag you were having so much trouble opening? Ever heard of scissors? Well, of course it would crinkle. It's all part of the programme, dear. Sound effects like that, isn't it? If it was just me talking, how boring would that be? For example, on today's show, we're in the garden. Listen to the lovely birds singing. Oh, don't you like that? Birds singing. Ah, we love it. It's all part of the show. Sound effects. But every time you... That's not a sound effect. That's a technical fault, dear. Scissors have been around since prehistoric times. Well, at least the Renaissance. And what about noise the papers moving in the wind made on the June the 9th show? I was just about to drift off when that noise woke me up. Well, I'm sorry, dear. It's only a bit of noise, but it's not an annoying noise. I'm sure it isn't. You were telling the listeners' friends about the new gig in Birmingham. What you neglected to mention was on the first night you were there, you called me on Skype and I was speaking with James and 4 other people, which made it more on Skype than in the club. All very sad. Well, yeah, it was a quiet night, yes, but it's picking up now. That place, that new gig I'm doing in Birmingham, I'm there every Friday night. That's at Route 2. In Hurst Street, Birmingham. I DJ there on Friday night between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. It's going to be a long uphill struggle, but I believe it will work. It's a long journey for me to get there and back. It's a good hour and 3/4, okay? But I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't think it would work. I left the place to do this. And it's a fantastic venue, just hasn't got enough people in it at the moment, but I eventually think it will turn around. And when it does, it'll be great. It's a beautiful venue. Friday nights, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. if you want to come along to that, okay? Here are a few of my eBay purchases, Suko's eBay purchases. I was looking for a vanity dressing table for Jade, her daughter's bedroom, which we redid last year. She wanted it to be more sophisticated than the teddy bear party theme she had, so we decided to do it Chinese like the rest of our house. I had exhausted all the stores in the area, so the next step was searching online. A very good place to look, if you ask me. I searched all the Oriental furniture websites and then resorted to eBay. I found a beautiful Thai vanity. It was perfect. I bid on it for a couple of days. I was very excited when I won the bid. Well done, Suko. It was almost like winning a raffle. You know they charge you when you win something. Hang on, you know the charge you get... Oh, sorry. You know the charge you get when you win something. What does that mean? Oh, the excitement. The excitement that you get when you win something. Yes, I do. It's fantastic. Especially if you've been bidding with other people. And you're the one that gets it. Got to be crafty sometimes, Suko, haven't you, my darling? A week later, a box arrived at our door. What could it be? It was too small to be the vanity case. Or so I thought. I opened the box, and there was the beautiful carved teak vanity. The only problem was, it was only 18 inches high. At $120, not the bargain I thought I was getting. I just read this to Jerry and we're hysterical remembering this. I've attached a picture. Yeah, thanks for the picture. I got the picture. It didn't come out too well, that bit blurred, that picture. Can I have another one, please? Oh, that's funny, that is. That is funny. The next thing I bought was a pair of Uggs for Jade this Christmas. I don't know what are Uggs. No idea. She already had a pair of tan suede ones. Are they boots by any chance? I think it might be boots, which we had bought in a ski shop and paid quite a bit for. We already had bought her the iTouch and several other pricey things too, but I thought if I could find them cheaper on eBay, I'd buy them with my own spending money. Oh, Suko. Such a generous person, dear. Generous, 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 that's you. Those boots stank of... I found the exact black crocheted one she wanted in her size, bid on them and won. A week later, a box arrives from Hong Kong. Who knew with the boots? Those boots stank of rubber and still do, and they weren't such a bargain either. By the way, the tan ones never smell. The last thing I purchased was your Cristiano Romano figure. Was it Cristiano Ronaldo figure? That's it. Well, I thought I was buying a figurine. It turned out I must have hit buy twice, so you got two and I had to pay for two. But you're so worth it. What did you do with them? I sent one to Jimmy, as you requested, and the other one's in a box. I don't know what I'm going to do with the other bits and pieces yet. Hope Gary is healing well, and yes, the reoccurring problem is permanently sorted out soon. So thank you very much, Suko. Oh, it's time to look at the time. It's time to go. As always, thanks for watching and listening to the show. My name's Chris Reardon. The email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I'm going to put my chicken breasts in the oven now and enjoy my dinner in half hour. See you on the next show. Thanks for watching.